whether it's people protesting against the desecration of the Sabbath, or the desecration of the graveyards, or the immodest dress with which people go in some of the areas in which they live, they meet the same treatment. The police will beat them up, and some of them will be remanded in custody without any pretext for up to 10 days. Remember, we in the religious Jewish community, we didn't choose to have a state. We do not believe that God requires or wants us to have a state. He is perfectly capable of protecting us if he wants to protect us. We don't need to have an army, we don't need to have tanks, we don't need to have newspapers or anything to protect us. God Almighty will protect us if we deserve to be protected. What we do need is we need to fulfill his commandments. And the voice of secular Zionism says, we are the spokesmen for the Jewish people, we are there to protect world Jewry, etc., which we would deny. They do not want anyone to speak out against them. They are the sole spokesman for the Jewish people, and they resent very much that anyone should speak out against them. And if anyone goes against their ideology and attempts to voice his protest publicly, then they're after him. And we want the people in authority there to know that they may prevail for a time. They've got their tanks, they've got their truncheons, and they may prevail for a time. But every one of us is going to have to give account of his deeds.
Well, I'm joining a demonstration against the so-called Israeli government for its discrimination, its crackdown on the anti-Zionist Jewish community in West Jerusalem, in Beth Shemesh. They are merciful, they are arresting people without, and detaining people without any charge, and really ruthless to the anti-Zionist Jewish community who just want to live a peaceful life separately from the rest of mainstream Israel. This is just a war against the true, authentic Judaism, which doesn't want to recognize them and the way of life. They want to make an integration of the Jews and religious all kinds into the Israeli lifestyle, into the Israeli army, and they unfortunately they managed to succeed in a certain extent. But there's a big anti-Zionist Jewish community who don't want to break down, and don't want to give in to the Israeli government's pressure. They want to live like they used to, not nationalists, not pro-Israel, being completely neutral from politics, willing to take anything, any regime which is there. Yeah, sure, they have a history of perverting our religion. They uprooted big Jewish communities from the Yemenite Jewish community, from the Iraqi, from the North African Jewish communities who are all religious. They have a history of persecuting of religious Jews, of uprooting Judaism. They have a history of doing this, and now they can't do it because of the big population. But what they're trying to do now is just trying to integrate everyone into their lifestyle, into the Israeli army, into the Israeli into Zionism, in other words.
The misfortune and the biggest horror is that the entire world consider the Zionist government, Zionist parliament, as spokesman from all the nation, the Jewish nation. But the Jewish nation is a nation from 2,000 years, a history to be loyal to the commandments, to God, a peaceful nation, not aggressive and nor political. They want to convert to the Jewish nation, the old Jewish nation, to a political and aggressive nation, a Zionist nation. And they want even to call this so-called state of Israel as a Jewish state, because they want to fool up the entire world that this is a continuation from the Jewish nation. It's not a continuation, it is a transformation that does. They want to tell the full up the world that the Zionist state is protecting all Jews all over the world. But it is the opposite. All Jewish people, all religious people in the entire world, they have to protect the Jewish communities there in the Zionist regime. We are all have to protect them, not they are protecting us. We are safe here in Britain, we are safe in the United States. In the most part of the world we can say we are safe. The most dangerous area for Jewish nation, for the old Jewish nation, is there. They didn't succeed to bring any protection to the Jewish nation, but instead they put them in the biggest danger, physical danger and moral danger.
If you look at Jewish history, the Jewish communities were never intimidated and were never intimidated by the Crusaders who burnt them alive, nor by the Spanish Inquisition who put them into boiling oil. And they were not intimidated in the times of the Hasmoneans when they were refused to bow to the idol at the cost of their lives. So we in the authentic Jewish community and Jewish belief, we're not going to be intimidated. So yes, you can bash us, but you are not going to prevail over authentic Judaism. Authentic Judaism is the voice of people who represent service to God. It's not the voice of what we want to do. It's not a case of you against me, am I stronger, are you stronger? That's not the point. The point is that we seek the freedom to follow the principles of our religion. Thank God here in London we are perfectly at liberty to do so, and we only ask for the same liberty there to be awarded to our brothers and sisters in Jerusalem.